You know, 2025 was the year AI stopped being just a cool new tool and became, well, the very infrastructure our world is built on. But that incredible speed, it has a shadow side. So today, we're going to break down both the amazing progress and the very real peril to give you a clear picture of where AI stands right now. Okay, let's just start with a number. $1.38 billion. That's how much a single company, one that builds AI data centers, raised in one funding round. This isn't just investment, folks. It's a full-blown gold rush, and it is fueling everything we're about to talk about.
But, even with that fire hose of cash spraying everywhere, some of the biggest players are starting to get a little nervous. This quote here is from the venture capital giant, Tiger Global, and it really gets at the core tension of this AI boom. They're telling their own investors to expect more humility because of elevated valuations. Translation? They're basically whispering, hey, this might be a huge bubble about to pop.
All right, so how are we going to make sense of this whole thing? We've broken it down into 5 key parts. First, we'll look at the AI gold rush itself. Then, we'll see how it's rewiring the workplace. After that, we dive into a database of dangers, then the global race to build guardrails, and we'll finish up with a look at something called the Great AI Divide. So, first up, the AI gold rush. And look, forget about just cool new apps for your phone. We are talking about a fundamental rewiring of our digital world's core infrastructure, and it's all being funded by this massive, massive wave of cash.
Now get this. This table? This isn't the best of 2025. Nope. This is from one single week in October. And just look at the variety here. Everything from the data centers that power AI, to self-driving cars, to AI that can actually do tasks for you, and even AI for medicine. The money is flowing into absolutely every corner of the economy.
Okay, so where is all this money actually ending up? Well, it's hitting us right where we live and work. We are in the middle of a productivity boom as these AI tools become totally standard in day-to-day business.
Get a load of this. In just 1 year, the sheer volume of work getting done on platforms like ChatGPT has jumped up 8 times. 8x! This isn't people just playing around anymore. This is deep, serious integration into how work gets done. And it's not just the same folks using it more either. The number of paid accounts for workers has skyrocketed by 9 times in that same period. So more people are getting access, and they are using it way more intensely.
But what does that actually mean for you, for the average person at their desk? It means they're getting back between 40 and 60 minutes every single day. That's a huge, tangible productivity win that's happening right now.
And that time saving? It's translating into some pretty mind-blowing results for businesses. I mean, look at Lowe's. Sales conversions more than double when a customer uses their AI. Intercom's AI agent now handles over half its support calls all by itself. Indeed is getting more people hired faster. And Moderna, they cut a step in drug development from weeks down to a matter of hours.
So everything sounds pretty amazing so far, right? A flood of investment, massive productivity boosts. But this is where the story takes a really sharp turn. We have to ask, what's the hidden cost of deploying this powerful technology so quickly? And to really get a handle on that cost, we've got to look at something called the AI Incident Database. It's this project that tracks all the real-world harm AI systems are causing. And honestly, it gives us a pretty sobering look at the shadow side of this whole revolution.
Okay, let me walk you through a case that is just chilling. A fraud ring in South Korea used deepfake tech to create these super convincing fake female identities online. They'd build romantic trust with men, convince them to travel overseas, and then, boom, they'd take their passports and force them into labor and online scam operations. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is organized crime supercharged by AI. And it's not just one type of threat. It's coming from all angles. We're seeing deepfakes used for financial fraud, like a fake video of the president of Cyprus. A teenager in Japan allegedly used AI to cook up malware for a massive data breach. And of course, the really profound personal violations, with AI being used to create fake nude images for harassment. The list of these harms, it's just growing by the day.
So with all this misuse just exploding, it's triggered this global scramble. It's a full-on race now to build some guardrails, to try and tame this tech before things get completely out of control. And when it comes to safety, you can basically break it down into 2 big ideas. On one hand, you've got model-centric safety. That's all about trying to fix the AI model itself, making it harder to spit out bad stuff. On the other hand, you have systemic regulation, which is less about the tech and more about creating laws and rules for how we humans are allowed to use it.
But here's the kicker. AI is everywhere, right? It's a global technology.
But this race to regulate it, it's happening in little pockets all over the planet. So what we're ending up with is this really messy, inconsistent patchwork of safety standards.
Let me give you a really solid example of what that systemic regulation looks like in practice. Over in India, the government has stepped in and told AI developers flat out, you have to eliminate biases in your models related to things like caste, gender, and regional stereotypes. It's a really proactive step to make sure AI reflects the nation's diversity, not its old prejudices. And all of this brings us to our final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. Beyond all the hype and all the danger, there's this profound gap opening up, a great AI divide between the people who are mastering this technology and the ones being left behind.
So to really get this divide, you need to understand a new term, the frontier worker. Think of this person as an AI power user. They're in the top 5% of adopters. They're not just dabbling. They are using these tools way more often, way more deeply, and for way more things than your average person.
And the size of this gap, it is just staggering. Take coding, for example. A frontier worker sends 17 times more messages to an AI assistant than the median worker. 17! That is a massive difference in how deeply this tool is being woven into their work.
And listen, this isn't just about individual people. The exact same divide is happening between companies. These frontier firms are generating 7 times more messages to their custom AIs. They're embedding AI so deeply into their core operations that it's creating a competitive advantage that other companies might never be able to catch up to.
So, where does that leave us? We've seen the investment boom, the crazy productivity gains, the very real dangers, and now this emerging divide. It really all boils down to one fundamental question, doesn't it? As AI reshapes our world, will it be an engine for shared prosperity, or will it be the tool that drives us further apart? Right now, that's a story that is still being written.